Fourth line.
Fourth line.
Fifth line. Let's do that. Let's record.
In general, we're involved in Oiles V'Kelim, discussing the phenomenon that Oiles are mislabish in the Kelim. Mislabish has a very special implication. Not that they are contained in the Kelim, but they actually relate. They become like one. And this is a phenomenal thing. How can Oiles be mislabish in Kelim? They're so different, from completely different perspectives. And the answer is, amongst other things, is that in the oil there is this element of seichel and midas. There is the element that is that further gets identified to the kelim, which is not in a strange place, so to speak. And this is Kemoshel, 4 lines on top, 5 lines on top. Kemoshel b'nefesh shenisboi perigim. So the Moshel is nefesh. In nefesh, there is koiches and there is a nefesh. So we explained, shemipnei she'hakoiches ein pnimin b'yetzem. That due to the fact that the koiches are pnimiyim, internal in essence. Internal in essence means representative of the nefesh, even though they're just koiches, and there is not there's not an equality between nefesh and koiches. Nonetheless, the koiches are also pnimiyim, which means the nefesh contains, the nefesh relates to koiches. The hainu, which means to say she'einam ha'ora me'etzem ha'nefesh, that the koiches, as we explained much earlier, are not just a ha'ora, reflection of the etzem ha'nefesh, kiyim rather masher ha-nefesh koileles be'atzma koiches. It is that the nefesh actually incorporates koiches. Seichel and midas in the nefesh are a presence of seichel and midas. They're not just a reflection of what nefesh is. However, the kmei shehem klunim benefesh, that in the state where the koiches are included in the nefesh, before they appear individually, they're not in the state of mitzius of a presence, an identifiable presence, as koiches. To the extent that they're all there in the nefesh, they intermingle, they completely mixed in together. So for us to get a handle on this motion, which is an important inyan, we use the home illustration. We pointed out many times, a home is a primary a representation of a human being. Cannot be described merely by its functionality. A home is a description of a human being, to the extent that the Gemara says, if a person does not have a home, he is not a human being. Again, as we discussed in the sphirot l'mayla, the reason for that is that the human being was created in the world, even though he is a supreme being, but he was created in the world to be effective in the world. And to be effective, he has to have koiches. And the same thing is in the home. A home is not just a peripheral shelter. A home is actually a definition, a defining element in the human being. A defining element in the human being has to be able to accommodate every aspect of the human being, such as sitting down, lying down, sitting at a table, eating and writing and all of these things, which is part of the accommodation of a home. Therefore, all the furnishings that ultimately fill the home are not just a reflection of the home, of the house. In other words, I have room so I can put a table down. No, they're contained in the concept of the home in the beginning. Except, as they're contained in the concept of the home, they are not individually identified. They're kind of lost in the overall concept. But nonetheless, they are there. Do we get this point? This is the point. They are there, in conceptually, they are there as individual koiches, as individual furnishings. But they're all intermixed, because they're all representative of one principle. It's a home for the human being. Not just a shelter, a home for a human being. Which means it already represents all the various aspects of a human being. And this is what the Rebbe says. The koiches in the nefesh are individual koiches even in the nefesh. But in the nefesh, they are not individually identifiable, and all the koiches intermix, because effectively they're all representing the principle that this is a nefesh, that a human nefesh. Ach, all right, we have the place, and this is now 7 lines from the top. Line begins Mitzias koiches. At the end of that line, nefesh. But then the koiches are drawn from the nefesh individually. How do they get to be drawn from the nefesh? Al de tzimtzum. This is by the effect of tzimtzum. Tzimtzum, we already discussed, means that the phenomenon of nefesh per se is minimized, and its content and its functionality begin to surface. Just like in a home, there is the ultimate, the home principle, and then there is the union that there is less emphasis on the home principle, allowing the various functionalities of the home to surface, to be identified. Then, when the koiches are bisgals, then the koiches are in a state of hislapshus. They have the element of hislapshus, of interconnecting and tfiso and grasped by Ivone Haguv in the Ivone of the body. Tfiso, Ivonim, limbs.
Oh.
The limbs of the goof are toifes the koiches. What does toifes mean? They grasp the koiches. What does it mean, they grasp the koiches? The grasp the koiches means that they understand, they relate to them. Even the koiches and the Ivonim are extremely different. The Ivonim are gashmi, the koiches are ruchmi. And yet there is a very phenomenal and very fine relationship between them. As we discussed yesterday, that the koiches and the Ivonim unite. And the koiches do not find themselves in a strange place, and nor do the Ivonim find being activated by something that they don't understand. All this is all for the moshel the way it is l'mayla in kav. V'kmei kein hu be'er hakav. The similar inyan is the oyer hakav. Oyer hakav, the kav we already discussed. The kav is when the nekuda, which is the sphirot agnuzis, are allowed to be identified individually. It comes in the form of a kav, of a line. The kav, the shorshoy, which is rooted be'as sphirot agnuzis be'enisod boru. It's rooted in the sphirot agnuzis, in the enisod boru. As we said, that as soon as there is the rotzin, the amniyas or rotzin, there's just a sphirot agnuzis. Gnuzis means that they are treasured and contained within the Ein Sof. And at that point, they're inseparable from the Ein Sof. She'ein zeh. So what we need to understand about the Rebbe is, the whole struggle is to be understand the following words. She'ein zeh ha'oyer in sof atzmei, that these sphirot agnuzis, and then the kav that brings it all out, is not the oyer in sof atzmei. Kihim, rather, mashashir ha'in sof be'atzmei. It is what the Ein Sof projected internal to the Ein Sof, l'hoyed bebchinas mido gvul, to emanate in a mido gvul, in a measured and a limited fashion. Okay, this is every time we come to it, it's probably like a novel thing, but we discussed it already. The spheres did not come from the Ein Sof because they are inadvertently present. They're intentionally present. And the reason they're intentionally present is because in the Ein Sof there was the rotzon. There was a rotzon, a will, that he should be known on the outside. It should be known in a worldly context, which is Oiris and Kelim. All right, the thing is like this. As I said, I have to run to Kingston, so I have to cut short today. So I'll have to run out right now. Sorry, I have to cut short.